Hello team, this video is members only. This is why you see me in these awful conditions. I'm also wearing my pajamas, but I don't care, I'm comfortable with this because I know you don't really judge me. So for the same reason, I won't do the fancy editing in this video. I'll give you just the meat in a concise manner, hopefully. I will just cut away this stuttering or the broken English if it takes over. Oh, and forgive me if I look away from time to time. I wrote down notes so I don't forget stuff. Now, the input for this video comes from a comment that popped a few days ago in another one of my videos. How can I make 10 pizza balls dough recipe? You see in my answer on screen. At first, I thought that the question didn't really make any sense because in the video I made one pizza. So, my friend, if you want to make 10 pizzas, what should you do exactly? Multiply the amounts by 10, no? After that, I found that this actually gives me the opportunity to share something with you about scaling yeast in particular, because sometimes yeast can follow a different logic, different than Becker's percentages. I mean, I'm confident you know about Becker percentages, the method to calculate doses relate to the flour. If you don't know them, I got a video, so please go and find it. Now, the answer I get to this viewer makes sense because the video was about a same-day dough, the one ready in around 2 hours. In general, the shorter the rising time, the less explosive the effect of yeast would be. The more predictable, if you want. The point is, yeast duplicates itself, no? In the dough by budding in a cycle that can last up to 75 minutes. This duplication happens as long as there is oxygen in the dough. No oxygen means no duplication, but that's when the actual fermentation starts with all the production of flavor, gas, etc. I don't want to dive deep into this topic right now because I'm working on a great video about fermentation with a stunning amount of info. Bear with me please, you will see it as soon as possible. But back on topic, yeah, the yeast duplicates. For this reason, the effects of the metabolism of the yeast over time are not linear. They are exponential. They have a sudden increase. Basically, the more time you give the dough, the more time you give the yeast, sorry, the more easily you would notice the effect of using different amount of yeast. I want to give you an example. Let's say you just made 2 single doubles because you want to do some experiment, because you are a pizza geek like me. In the first double, you used 1 gram of yeast, while in the second you used 2 grams, just saying numbers for the sake of argument. After 1 hour, it's unlikely you would notice an extreme difference between the 2 doubles. After 2 hours, I reckon the difference starts to become noticeable. After 24 hours, that's when the difference will be evident, will be relevant. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying here. I'm not mentioning temperatures, both of room temperature, of the flour, water, the dough, etc. So back to square one, to the answer I get to this guy, to this person. It's okay to multiply by 10 the amounts of yeast in that context, the 2 hours rising video. But if I was discussing a long fermentation, like 24 hours and above, like I always do, I'm not sure you watched the video with my usual dough. Okay, in that case, if I was asked the same question, considering everything I just said, I would not recommend a linear increase in the amount of yeast, that is multiplied by 10. That is using the same Becker's percentage, basically. In case of long fermentation, I would recommend slightly decreasing the percentage of yeast. Don't ask me how much, guys, please. I know you're not the kind of people who want to be spoon-fed. I would say to reduce the percentage by 15–20%. But, you know, whenever you do something for the first time, there's always a margin of uncertainty. No matter your experience level, I make mistakes all the time, to be honest. And so, you know. Okay, that's it. Hope this was useful. Let me know if you ever thought about scaling up the yeast, like following back a percentage, if you had this kind of thinking, let's say. See you next time. Ciao!